Hey guys, what's up? I'm Noah, this is Analog Resurgence, and today I just want to show you guys quickly how to load a 35mm camera. So it might seem like a really basic skill, but a lot of people who've never shot film before would have no idea how to load a 35mm camera. And of course, it's probably one of the very first steps you need to know if you're gonna go shoot with film. So I'll be showing you with both a point and shoot 35mm camera and a 35mm manual SLR, because these are the two cameras that people most usually have when they're shooting film. So let's check it out. Let's start with our 35mm film camera SLR. And so first we need to load the camera by putting the film in the back. And you open up the back film compartment with this little knob here. This is the rewind knob on your camera. So it slides up and then it pops open like that. So inside we see the actual film gate here that the film will move across, and the spiked roller here that pulls the perforations on the film across. We see this mechanism here with an arrow on it that will help to wind the film up. And then this back door here has a pressure plate, which is a springy plate here that will help to push your film tight up against the gate so that when you're taking a picture, it will properly be placed to be in focus. So if your knob is pushed down, you want to push it up all the way, and you take your film and you actually load it with the knob here facing downwards, and it just drops in like that. Press this down, and you want to make sure that this is rotated until it's all the way down. And then you take your film and you actually pull some of it out all the way across your film gate. So now that that's ready to go, you can just take it and push it into one of the little grooves on your camera. So now it has popped up a bit, but you don't have to worry about that too much. So it is actually tucked into there. And so now we wind the camera and see it's tightening up, and it should line up with the spikes here. And then you have to fire that and wind it again and fire again. And you can do this a few times until you're safe and make sure that the film is tight and ready to go in there. And then once you are, you can close the door. So you have the film counter at the front here, and you have to advance, fire, and advance all the way to number 1. So now you're ready to start shooting, and it will start counting from there. Now to rewind your film, you press this button at the bottom here, and this will release the mechanism for winding, and this pops up to be a little handle. This has an arrow on it. Whenever you're rewinding your film, always pay attention to the direction of the arrow, because if you wind in the opposite direction, it can back wind the film and damage it, which means that when you process the film at the lab, it will come out with damaged pictures. So always rotate it in the direction that the arrow is pointing. You can feel it click as it's released from the mechanism, and then you're safe to open the film door. And that has rewound the film. Now I'm going to take the same film and use it in a 35mm point and shoot. And this is a Canon Owl Sure Shot camera, and it is entirely automatic. So with these ones, they usually take AA batteries at the bottom here that can just pop open like that. And it has a little switch on the side that says open, and this will pop open your camera. Now inside it's much more condensed and has less components. So on the back you still have a pressure plate. This one's plastic as opposed to metal here. You can see that the film actually loads from this side and then goes across over to here. So this has automatic loading, which is a little bit easier. So instead of putting this at the bottom like on our manual SLR camera, you actually put it at the top. So this pops in and it will sit in there like that. And then you can see there's a little arrow that says film. So all you have to do is pull the film out enough to kind of tuck it into the space here on the side. And this will start to go around, and then it will automatically kind of catch as it goes to advance the camera on its own. So it doesn't matter if there's a bit of slack here, because the camera will deal with that itself. So now all you do is close the door and you'll hear it go. So now it's advanced the film properly and it's set to number 1 on the counter here. Another thing about these automatic cameras is that they have automatic rewind on them as well. So if you shoot your entire roll, it will automatically rewind once it hits the end of the roll itself. Or if you want to shoot a roll only halfway and finish it up that way, then you can manually tell it to rewind. So the manual option to rewind for this camera is actually this little symbol at the top here, and it's like a little arrow going into a film canister. So you can get something small like a pen or anything that you have to kind of poke this button down. Now I've only actually shot the first few frames on here as an example to give it something to rewind, but usually it will rewind a full roll, which will take a few seconds. So this one probably won't take too long, but you'll be able to hear it. So I'll just push it down using this screwdriver here. And that has rewound the whole thing. That will actually rewind the frame counter as well. So you can open this up again, and inside your film is rewound into the canister, and then you can take it to the lab. So there you go. Whether you're using a fully manual 35mm SLR camera or just a cheaper point and shoot camera, you now know how to properly load it and make sure that your film is in there ready to go, and you shouldn't have any issues when you're out there shooting or when the lab is developing your film. Thank you guys so much for checking this out, and I really hope that you enjoyed and you learned just a little bit about how to properly load cameras and how to handle them when you get your hands on them. And subscribe for more analog content every week that I'm posting about different formats and cameras and just different histories and topics to help you guys out and get into some of these formats. Thanks, and I'll see you guys soon.